We welcome to OR Channel World Analysis. Today we will discuss how Elon Musk did not create SpaceX based on a single theory. He built it from a vision, practical goals, and deep research. Here's a clear explanation of how Elon Musk formed the ideas behind SpaceX and turned them into reality. In the early 2000s, Elon Musk was already a Silicon Valley success story, having co-founded PayPal, the online payments company that revolutionized how people moved money on the internet. Musk's relentless drive and vision helped turn PayPal into a household name, and when the company was sold to eBay, he walked away with a fortune. With millions in his bank account, Musk could have chosen a life of comfort and luxury, retiring young and enjoying the spoils of his success. But for Musk, financial security was just the beginning, not the end. Instead of stepping back, Musk set his sights on a far more ambitious goal: space. This wasn't a sudden whim. It was a dream rooted in his childhood fascination with science fiction, stories of interplanetary travel, and the mysteries of the cosmos that had captivated him since he was a boy. Musk wasn't a trained rocket scientist, but that didn't stop him. He dove headfirst into textbooks, poring over complex diagrams and equations, determined to teach himself the fundamentals of aerospace engineering. He spent countless hours learning everything he could about rockets, propulsion, and orbital mechanics. At the time, the space industry was dominated by established giants like NASA and Boeing. These organizations had decades of experience, vast resources, and powerful connections. Most people thought Musk's ambitions were not just unrealistic, but outright delusional. But Musk saw something others didn't. He believed that humanity's destiny lay beyond Earth, and he felt a deep, urgent need to push the boundaries of what was possible. For him, exploring space wasn't just a dream, it was a necessity for the future of our species. He became convinced that our long-term survival depended on becoming a multi-planetary species, with Mars as the next great frontier. Colonizing another planet, he believed, would safeguard humanity against existential threats and open up a new chapter in our story. If the established players in the industry wouldn't take the leap, Musk decided he would do it himself. He was ready to risk his fortune, his reputation, and even his sanity to make it happen. So against all odds and with almost everyone doubting him, Musk set out to start his own rocket company from scratch. He gathered a small team of passionate engineers and began building rockets in a modest warehouse, fueled by determination and a vision for the future. The world of space exploration was about to be disrupted in ways no one could have imagined, as Musk's bold gamble would soon change the course of history. Musk's vision wasn't just about reaching space. For him, the stars weren't the final destination, they were only the beginning. He believed that humanity's future depended on becoming a multi-planetary species, and that meant setting our sights far beyond Earth's orbit. More than anything, Musk was obsessed with Mars, a world that had captured the imagination of scientists and dreamers for generations. He saw Mars not as a distant, lifeless rock, but as a new frontier, a place where humans could build a second home. To spark global excitement, he came up with the Mars Oasis project, an audacious plan to send a small, self-sustaining greenhouse to Mars. The goal? To grow the first living plant on another planet, proving that life could take root on the red world. Imagine the impact: a fragile green sprout thriving in the harsh Martian soil, a symbol of hope and possibility. Musk believed this image would reignite humanity's passion for space exploration and inspire a new generation to dream bigger. But turning this wild idea into reality was no easy task. Musk traveled to Russia, hoping to buy a refurbished intercontinental missile to use as a launch vehicle. The negotiations, however, quickly soured. Prices were astronomical, and the Russian sellers didn't take him seriously. Frustrated but undeterred, Musk began to wonder, could he build a rocket himself? He dove into research, poring over engineering textbooks and crunching the numbers late into the night. What he discovered was shocking. The raw materials needed for a rocket were only a tiny fraction of the final price. Most of the cost came from manufacturing, not materials. The real obstacle wasn't rocket science, it was economics. If he could solve the cost problem, he could open the door to Mars for everyone. This realization changed everything for Musk. Suddenly, the impossible seemed possible. If rockets could be built for a fraction of the traditional cost, Mars was no longer a distant dream. It was within reach. And so, with a bold idea and a new approach, the seeds of SpaceX were planted, setting the stage for a revolution in space travel. Musk saw that rockets were expensive not because of rare materials, but because of outdated, inefficient industry practices. Big aerospace companies outsourced everything, each layer adding costs. Musk's solution, vertical integration, designing and building almost every part in-house. He also saw the waste in single-use rockets, like throwing away a jet after one flight. His radical idea: make rockets reusable. Reusability could slash costs and make space accessible. The Mars Oasis project was shelved. Musk's new mission revolutionized space travel economics. He wasn't just sending a payload to Mars, he was building the highway. The dream was now about changing the entire industry. In 2002, Musk founded SpaceX, investing $100 million of his own money. He hired young, driven engineers willing to challenge the status quo. Their first goal: build the Falcon 1 rocket from scratch. The team worked obsessively, but early launches were plagued by failure. The first rocket exploded seconds after liftoff. The second spun out of control. The third failed during stage separation. Each setback drained Musk's fortune and morale. With only enough money for one more attempt, SpaceX was on the brink. The pressure was immense. Everything was riding on a final launch. Failure would mean the end of SpaceX. The fourth Falcon 1 launch was SpaceX's last shot. The team had learned from every failure, rebuilding the rocket with care. On September 28, 2008, the rocket soared into the sky. Stage separation worked flawlessly. The call came: "We are in orbit." The control room erupted in celebration. SpaceX had become the first private company to launch a liquid-fueled rocket into orbit. This single success changed everything. It proved Musk's approach could work and silenced the skeptics. SpaceX was no longer a joke, it was a force in aerospace. The road to Mars was open. Falcon 1's success caught NASA's attention. SpaceX won a $1.6 billion contract to resupply the International Space Station. This lifeline allowed SpaceX to build the larger Falcon 9 and the Dragon capsule. In 2012, Dragon became the first commercial spacecraft to dock with the ISS. But Musk's real breakthrough was reusability. After many failed attempts, SpaceX landed a Falcon 9 booster upright in 2015. Reusable rockets slashed launch costs and changed the economics of space. SpaceX proved that private companies could innovate faster and cheaper than government contractors. The age of routine, affordable spaceflight had begun. The dream was no longer science fiction. With the advent of reusable Falcon 9 rockets, SpaceX didn't just enter the launch industry, they completely transformed it. By mastering the art of landing and reusing rockets, SpaceX slashed the cost of reaching orbit, making space more accessible than ever before. Their relentless innovation forced competitors to rethink their own approaches, and soon, the world was watching as Falcon 9S launched, landed, and launched again, over and over. Meanwhile, the Starlink satellite constellation began to take shape, bringing the dream of global high-speed internet closer to reality. With thousands of satellites deployed, even the most remote corners of the planet could now hope for reliable connectivity, bridging the digital divide and opening up new opportunities for millions. But for Elon Musk, these achievements were only stepping stones. His vision stretched far beyond Earth's orbit, fueled by a desire to make humanity a multi-planetary species. His ultimate goal was Starship, a fully reusable next-generation spacecraft designed to carry both people and cargo to Mars and beyond. Starship represented the next leap, a vehicle that could make interplanetary travel routine. At SpaceX's Starbase in Texas, rapid prototyping and spectacular, sometimes explosive failures became the norm. Each test, whether a success or a fiery setback, provided invaluable data and pushed the team to move faster and smarter. Every explosion, every piece of debris, was a lesson learned, bringing SpaceX one step closer to a Mars-ready vehicle that could survive the harshest conditions. Musk envisions a future where a fleet of starships builds a thriving city on Mars, laying the foundation for a new chapter in human history. His journey from dot-com millionaire to rocket pioneer is a testament to relentless ambition, risk-taking, and the power of dreaming big. Musk challenged an entire industry, shattered expectations, and changed the world's perception of what's possible in space. His story is proof that with vision, persistence, and a willingness to embrace failure, even the wildest dreams can become reality and inspire generations to reach for the stars.